I promised you garlic and onions and lots of it, and here you have it. Risotto, simple risotto, lots of garlic, scallions, lots of onions, and it's going to be delicious. Let's get the onion going with some olive oil. What you need for a risotto, you need a nice thick pan where the heat is spread evenly so all of the rice cooks at the same temperature, and a wide pan. So the addition of stock evaporates because part of making the risotto is adding the stock and have the stock evaporate, the starches come out, and then you add some more stock and so on and so forth. So a little bit of salt in the onion right here. And of course, the absolute essential to a good risotto is the rice itself. So this is arborio rice. It's sort of a short, plumpy rice. What's unique about it is the ratio of the starches that are in the kernel itself. Because I'm going to coax that starch out, and I'm going to make the risotto creamy with that. So I have the onions going. I want to toast it right with the onions and with the oil. And I want to kind of make a little capsule out of this rice, because then the ideal risotto is where the rice is perfectly cooked and is suspended in this creamy mixture. You don't want the rice opening up and sometimes not being cooked in the center. You want the rice thoroughly cooked but still be a whole kernel that is suspended in this creamy mixture that we are going to create. So the next step actually is adding wine. Since I'm going to use a lot of garlic, and I don't want pieces of garlic in there, I'm going to make a puree with the garlic. So this is toasting. Will I see any difference in color in the rice being toasted? No, you sort of hear this clickety-clack. That means that it is being toasted. Adding wine at this point, the rice is now very thirsty. It's going to take in the wine, and it's going to balance the inside flavor. The acidity is going to go in. Every kitchen should have some garlic and some onion, and along with some olive oil, they're the basis, the beginning of just about any Italian dish. Garlic adds more punch, more volatile flavors, if you will. Onion is more sweet, more mellow, more velvety. What happens next is this back and forth procedure of adding hot stock to the risotto to coax those starches out. The liquid, whether it's chicken stock, vegetable stock, fish stock, or just plain water. You can make a good risotto with just plain water. It should be at the same temperature because cooking is a chemical reaction and heat is a catalyst. So you don't want to stop this reaction by adding cold stock. And how much do you add? Just enough to cover this. And when you're putting the rice aside and you can see the base, then you need a little bit more of stock. Now, one would say, Lydia, why do you need this back and forth? Can I put as much stock as I need in here and get doing something else? Not really. The technique wouldn't work. What would happen is that the rice would open up because it will react to all of the liquid that you have it in. So we don't want to do that. We just want to slowly add it. Lower a little bit the heat, and you continue back and forth. Keep in mind that a risotto will take about 17 minutes to cook from beginning to end. I love garlic, but it's important to know how to buy it, how to store it, how to cut it, and how to use it. Here we have a beautiful, firm head of garlic, and that's what you want. Nice, tight, and firm. Here, on the other hand, is a head of garlic that has sort of reached its past. What is happening here is actually that each clove is forming a shoot. You can still use it, but that's not the best. The best is this. So when you approach a garlic clove, just clean the whole clove. Put a nice knife on top and whack it, just like that. Begin to clean each clove. Yes, your hands smell. Put a little lemon juice after that and you'll be fine. You put the clove like that, You put it in the refrigerator, it'll be good for a whole week. What is the best way to use garlic? You know, the more you cut garlic or crush or whatever, the more flavor it yields. I like the whole cloves when I do kind of chunky things, meats or vegetables. I take the clove and I crush it again. So I use this, I see it, I cook it, I let the flavors come out, and then I can remove it. So the sliced garlic, I use that when I make braised vegetables. Cutting it gives me a lot of flavor, and I use the sliced garlic. The one thing to keep in mind is that when you cook garlic completely, whether you bake it or saute it in a pan, that's when the flavor becomes mild and delicious. So here you have it on garlic, and now it's up to you. Scallions, with this I promised you a lot of onions, and I'm gonna keep my promise. Scallions are easy to clean, just wash them, take the little stems off, and there's anything else. So I'll take the white part and I'll put it in. That takes a little longer to cook. And then I'll add the green leaves, which are tenders, and just sort of throw them in at the very end. Maybe I'll put just a little bit, a drizzle of salt, because then I'll put cheese, lots of cheese whipped in there. So the risotto is coming along beautifully. Let's throw in the scallions, everything in. Just a little bit more of the stock. Let me taste. Risotto is something that you should taste regularly, at least every 3-4 minutes, so you get to know where it is. I mean, us Italians really like it al dente. Depends what your family likes. You can cook it a little more. You can leave it very al dente. And you know what? We are there. So let me take it off the heat. I don't want it to continue cooking. And the next step is called mantecare il risotto. So you have cubes of butter, and you just kind of whip them in there. And the movement here is really mantecare, really getting it in. The aroma is delicious. The creaminess is here. The rice is just al dente. And of course, the next one is the actual grated cheese. The last step of mantecare il risotto and finishing the risotto. So I think that I am perfect with my risotto. I think it's easy to serve risotto, you know, with a ladle. And if you put it in warm containers or soup bowls, it's the best way. I'm gonna put a little bit for myself because, you know, I want to taste. Risotto's gotta be served immediately. Risotto cannot wait because it just continues to open up and grow. So a little bit of formaggio, a nice warm ciotola. Ciotola means, you know, like a cute little pot that you just want to kind of hug, like this one. A ciotola full of risotto, it's a good thing. It is delicious. It's so complex in flavor, but you saw the simplicity of it. Onions, lots of garlic, wine, and then the scallions, the cheese, and the butter. And your great risotto is made. So this is the basic technique. To this, you can go in any direction as far as flavors.